my lovely, beautiful party people, my Sharkians, you know, everybody that's watching, you know, thank you for tapping in with me. Thank you for clicking on this video. As you can see from the title, I'm going to be showing you how I made 10K in 4 trading days. And something that's also interesting, I'm going to show you how you can do the exact same thing by using my methods, by using my rules, by using my guides. And I'm going to also show you on a live chart how you can actually do this, and pretty much showing you what I do on an everyday basis to make this type of money and to consistently step up to the market and make these type of profits. So as you can see, these are my 4 days. It adds up to about $9,611. I know it's not 10K, but I rounded up to 10K because it's a whole number, and you know, it just sounds better to say, you know, honestly. This was in November, yeah, granted. I have a lot more videos like this that I'm going to be breaking down, so this is just the first one that I'm able to actually, you know, work on and provide value to you guys with. So let's go ahead and jump to this whiteboard. Now, this is very basic, very raw. This is my first time doing some stuff like this, so work with me. You know, give me some feedback if I need to, if you need to, if you want to. So this is my everyday checklist that I do when I get on the market. You know, this is no particular order. This is just what I do. I check for supply and demand levels. I understand what my risk reward is. I understand my psychology and my emotions. I have gratitude in the market. And then I also search for news and see what's going on. Now, to break these down just a little bit more one by one, what are supply and demand levels? Supply and demand levels, a lot of people know as, you know, support and resistance, but these are levels where there is a lot of activity between buyers and sellers. Now, your risk reward. Your risk reward is how much do I need to risk to make how much in my reward? So how much money do I need to risk to make X amount of dollars? That is your risk reward, or to catch however many points that you want to do. Your psychology and emotions. That's your mental, you know, your emotions, you know, how do you feel during the market? What's your mental like? Are you stable? You know, are you mentally healthy? You know, are you happy? So, you know, that's what it is. Your gratitude. Gratitude is huge because you have to be grateful for where you are. You know, be grateful that you're able to, you know, trade the market. Be grateful that we have a tool, you know, in the United States, you know, wherever you are, if you have Wi-Fi, be grateful that you can literally get on your phone, get on your computer and just make money. You know, be grateful. So if you lose, if you win, be happy. You know, if you have a bad win, be grateful that you can step up tomorrow, you know, and because the market is not going anywhere. And then if you have a great win, be grateful, but also be humble. And then last but not least, the news. You know, what's going on around the market? Do big companies, did they drop any news? Is there earnings going on? You know, did the overall market see any news that they dropped? Did the Fed speak? You know, anything of that sort. Next, how I confirm my entry. So what do you mean by confirming my entry? So confirming entries is, how do I know when to buy and to sell? You know, when do I know when do I get into a position? When do I sell out of my position? That's what I am going to talk about now. So number one, these are three key things that I look for every day before I get into my position. I'm looking for an increase in buying or selling pressure. I'm looking for more buying and selling pressure in the current candle than the previous candle. And then I'm looking for a candle close outside of the zone. And what zone am I talking about? I'm talking about the supply and demand level zone. Sorry, I just spit a little bit. So that's how I confirm my entry. So what we're going to do now is we're going to transfer to Thinkorswim. These are my charts. Now, as you can see here, this is on demand up here. Let me go ahead and get a little marker going. Let's use green. I love green. Green's one of my favorite colors. It is my favorite color. As you can see, this is November 15th. I use the on-demand setting to kind of scoop back to kind of show you, ladies and gentlemen, what I was looking at in the current day. So based off of the things that I told you, what do I do first? I look to see if there is news. Today, a lot of news dropped from 8:30 pretty much to about like 2 p.m. There was news dropping. So I knew it was going to be a volatile day. Like I knew it was going to be a lot going on. So I knew I was ready to step up to the plate. Like I kind of already understood, like, you know what, I could possibly lose a lot today, but at the same time, optimistically, I knew I could make a lot. So, and also let me kind of jump back for you guys, for you ladies and gentlemen real quick to show you, the 15th, this was the day that I made 6.3K. So that's why I'm saying that I knew my risk. I knew what was going on. So first thing I do, I know about the news. Next, how's my mental? How's my psychology? I woke up, I was happy. You know, I got my morning routine in. You know, I made sure that I was mentally clear. I lit my candle, you know, shout out to Cheapskate, Giuseppe, whatever it is. I always get my candles going, make sure I get a good aroma. I just make sure that I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling happy. I'm just ready. So next, as you can see, as we go through my checklist, I'll even jump back for you real quick. What else was in our checklist? We had our understand our saccade emotions, our gratefulness. You know, I was grateful, I was ready, you know, I was happy. Now I have to step into my risk reward and then my supply and demand levels. We already talked about the news. So remember, these two are next, our supply and demand levels, our risk reward. So now let's go ahead and do that. I always personally mark my levels off on the hourly chart and the daily chart. So we're gonna go ahead and mark off some levels real quick. So when I look at this chart, I'm like, what do I see levels at? If you want to know exactly how to make these levels, especially you know, finding supply and demand levels, I teach you how to do that in my boot camp. My boot camp is amazing, man. It's packed full of knowledge, wisdom, you know, examples, everything that you need. It's really like your 20K accelerator, from somebody to go from 0 to 20K. I'm only doing that for $260 because a lot of people want to do my mentorship, but you know, they can't afford it. So this is my way to help you guys. So I have a 5-day pre-recorded seminar camp. It's a boot camp, it's a program. If you're interested, you know, drop a 17. So next, I'll look to see like, where is another zone right here? I said, well, okay, I like this zone right here. I'm like, okay, and then, you know, what else do I like? Of course, you can go up here and like look for some more zones, but this is pretty much where we're playing it right here. So now, I go ahead. Now, these are standard deviation lines. Not everybody's going to have these standard deviation lines. This is through my software that I have. But, you know, let's start breaking down. Let's start talking about what I was looking for in this trade. So now, let's zoom in a little bit. Now, as you can see here, this is my supply zone. This is my demand zone. In supply zone, we are looking for sellers stepping into the market. In our demand zone, we're looking for buyers to step into the market. So as you can see here, we indeed started seeing that. We started making a move into supply. Then we started kind of breaking down. Selling started to start stepping in a lot. We got this big candle right here. You know, this was at 8:30. And then we're like, okay, it's a lot of movement going on. Now, let's talk about this area right here. Why do I want to talk about this area? Because this is where we start implementing the things that I talked about as far as my entries. I look for an increase in buying or selling pressure. I look for more buying and selling pressure in the current candle than the previous candle. Then I look for a candle close outside of this zone. So let's go ahead and put all those into a practical, you know, example. This is our zone. I said I'm looking for an increase in selling or buying pressure. We're in supply zone, so we're looking for an increase in sellers. Number two, I want to see more sellers in the current candle than the previous candle. And then I'm looking for a full 5-minute close outside of the zone. So now, okay, if I do that, where do we start see that at? Where do we see that at? We start seeing it in levels like this. Actually, let me correct this level just a little bit. I made it a little too big. I was going a little fast. Sorry about that. I like this right here. All right, there we go. So now, I'm looking at this. We come into the test this level. Now, I want you to look at this down here. Now, this is your volume. Now, green is our buyers. Red is our sellers. So, based off of what I said in my guidelines of getting into an entry, I want to see an increase in selling pressure. I want to see more selling pressure than the previous candle. And then I want to see a candle close outside of the zone. So now, you can see we have buying pressure right here. Now, look at these candles, these candlesticks. Look how look at this kind of like this. You see the gray line, how you can kind of line up each of them. I want you to see now right here, switching from this green to red, we're seeing an increase in selling pressure, right? Now, if you look at this candle, we're starting to see some more selling pressure compared to buying pressure. And now this third candlestick right here, we're starting to see the most selling pressure than we saw these previous three, and the least amount of buying pressure than we've seen in these previous three candles. Now, also something that's interesting is what? This candlestick right here is a full candle close outside of the zone with more selling pressure. So what does that mean? We can look to get into our entries right here. So say if we were to get into our entry right here, we're getting in around, 5944, anywhere from 5944 to around, 5942. This is our entry. Now, what is critical next? Our risk reward. What am I risking? So now, based off of what I'm looking at here, what I'm going to risk is I am going to risk from 59, let's just say 5944 for the sake of this video. And I'll make a little red line here to show you my entry. Say if that was our entry, 5944. Now I want to risk, you know, the top of this zone. Why? Because we saw a nice wick in this area. We got rejected. We came up here, rejected again. You know, if we look back, you know, a little more, we could probably see some more. But I saw these two rejects, so I said, you know what, I'm going to risk that. So how many points is that? So based off of, let's just say, counting from 45, you know, 45 to around 55, that's 10 points right here. So, you know, this is around, you know, we're risking anywhere because it's an area. Don't think of it just, you know, directly as a point to point. So if you think about it from 44 to around 54, we're risking about, let's just say 10 points. We're risking 10 points. So a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio is what we would love to see. You know, that's perfect world, you know, but more often than not, every day in your trading, you're going to definitely see at least 2-to-1, 1-to-2, I'm sorry, risk reward ratio. So what does that mean? So that means I am risking these 10 points. So that means I need to at least see 20 points or 30 points for profit. So let's go ahead and look to see how we got our move. We enter right here. With this blue line is our pre-market low. Now I entered right here. Let's just say, you know, 44. So now what is 10 points from 44? 34. Now what's another 10 points? 24. That's a 1-to-2 risk reward ratio. Now if we want to see another one, we'll take this to 14. That is a 3-to-1 or a 1-to-3 risk reward ratio. So now if I would have entered here, I would have got out anywhere between, you know, a 20-point move or a 30-point move. As you can see, when I got into this, I literally got into it in this area. Me personally, I took it down to this level, which is the pre-market low. I went ahead and I took partial profit here. Once I took partial profit, now I understand if we get back to my entry, I will be completely out of this. But I want to hold my runners and let my runners run. I want my winners to be big and I want my losers to be small. So now I go ahead, I hold this. If it comes up here, of course, I'll be out. It did not come back to my entry, so I'm still holding. We get the clean break of this pre-market low. And as we break this pre-market low, we're heading down to this next zone, which is our demand zone. So now, you can see we broke down this trade. You know, it was a little raw. I know it's quick, but I don't want to hold you here for long. But this is what I do every day. We look for our confirmation in our entries. We're looking for an increase in selling or buying pressure. We're looking for more buying or selling pressure than the previous candle. We're looking for a full candle close outside of this zone. We understand our risk reward parameters, and then we go ahead and let our trade do our thing. When you're in your trade, if you ever feel like you're really anxious, if you're really excited, if you're on tilt, that means you're oversized. That means you need to size down a little bit. Don't ever let your emotions be tied to this money. You have to detach your emotions to money. You have to detach it from your trading. Your emotions will make you make rash, bad decisions. You have to look at it as this is your system. This is how I trade. This is what I'm looking for. If it does this, good. If it doesn't, oh well. I get out or I get in at my specific points. If it goes my way, I'm happy. If it doesn't go my way, I'm happy. Because guess what? Tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna step back into the market. If you're interested in learning more about how I trade and how I catch moves like this on a daily basis and how I make thousands of dollars a day, drop a 17 and I'll reach out to you personally. And if you want to join our community where I live day trade every single day and drop gems like this, give you my entries, my exits, and also if you're interested in my boot camp, also drop a 17. You know, drop a 17 period. You feel what I'm saying? Just drop a 17 and I'll reach out to you and I'm gonna see how I can be in assistance to you, how I can help you, because I want to see you win. I want to see you do well on the market. I want to see you make thousands of dollars. I want to see you be able to make, you know, buy $1,000 watches. You know, I want to see you do great things. So reach out to me. I'm eager to talk to you. I love you. I appreciate you. I believe in you, and I want to see you soon. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.